Good morning and welcome to the morning show with Kelly and Barbara. I hope you're ready to stretch it out after your weekend of aches and pains. And we've also got JianHao coming in to talk to us about creating viral content and how you can stay on top of your game. Also joining us in studio from Grain, the guys who are bringing you bubble tea out of necessity or a pure business choice. Find out here on the morning show with Kelly and Barbara, coming right up. Good morning and welcome to the morning show with Kelly and Barbara, your daily dose of what's good in the world. It is week 6 of Circuit Breaker and I promise we're going to make sure that we do everything to make that time fly.
That's right. We've got a chock-a-block of stuff for you each and every single day on Get Active TV. We've got our 7:30 Get Active at first light with the seniors workout, followed by 8:30's Rise and Shine. This morning we had Dawn in and Betsy to take you through a bit of yoga and Pilates.
Then 10 a.m. is when you sit down and join us on the morning show. And then 12 o'clock you've got In Your House with Raj Kumar before you join the big boys, John and Duncan, with Evenings with John and Duncan.
Now, before we get to today's chock-a-block of an epic program, let's take a look at the numbers starting from Friday. We had 768 cases, 11 community cases, 7 from work permit holders outside dorms, and 750 in the dorms.
On Saturday, it was 753 with 11 community cases, 3 work permit holders outside the dorms, and 739 within them.
And last night, we got information that we had 876. The first imported case in a really, really long time. 4 in the community, 11 work permit holders outside dorms, and 860 in the dorms, which brings us to a total of 23,336 cases.
Now, the numbers do sound a little bit scary, especially with that peak within the dormitories, but the community cases are going down. That's the most important thing. I think it was only, what, 2 Singaporeans and PRs, which is fantastic news.
Exactly.
And as you can see, slowly we're starting to open things up. McDonald's back open today, but whatever it is, guys, please do not rush to go and get your McSpicies today, okay? They're going to be open for the long haul, fingers crossed. So whatever you can do, make sure that, I know you're craving it. I get that. My husband is McDonald's biggest fan. But please, 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 don't chong. Don't rush to go and get your McDonald's fix today. It's not been that long. Okay?
That's right. Now, there are quite a few businesses that are going to be opening tomorrow onwards from the 12th. So Kelly's booked in to get her hair cut. But that being said, again, we would just want to urge everyone not to take that massive rush to, to hit up all these places that have been open. They are going to stay open, so you can take that little bit of time to just not go crazy.
The one thing that's not really quite open yet is bubble tea. But it's okay. It is completely okay because there are other ways to get your bubble tea fix. Aside from spending a painstaking amount of time at home doing it by yourself, you can actually purchase it from a few providers. And we'll be talking to the guys from Grain, who are one of those providers. You can actually purchase koi from them. We'll be finding out a little bit more about that. Plus, Grain's actually going to be giving away a $50 voucher.
Exactly. So that is our giveaway for today. You just need to like and share the morning show via the Get Active TV Facebook page. Comment and tell us what is your idea of a meaningful food experience. Kelly, what's yours?
Well, for me, I think it's about getting your food sources from somewhere local so that you're reducing your carbon imprint, but also with the waste that you have, trying to do something good with it. So
you stole my answer.
Oh, sorry. Composting. I'm a big fan of composting.
And because of that, now you've... I
have a garden.
You have a garden.
I have a garden.
You don't know what's in it.
With life. I don't know what's in it, but I've thrown lots of seeds and food scraps out there, and I think I have pumpkins growing.
Yeah, we definitely have pumpkins growing in there. I might have them in time for Halloween.
Maybe. Maybe. Only a few more months to go.
So we've got a chock-a-block of guests. Coming up next, we're going to be stretching it out with Wany. She's going to be showing us how you can use a towel to really not just open up that chest, but, you know, focus on the feet and the legs and the hammies and stuff like that as well. So that's going to be really fun. If you have any questions for Wany, of course, we'd be more than happy. We bring her on almost every Monday. So she's a good one to throw any questions at.
Yep. Absolutely. We've also got JianHao, yes, the JianHao, who will be joining us via Zoom on the show because obviously he's got young ones and old ones at home. So we're maintaining safe distance from him, but we're bringing him to talk about viral content and how you create content which is applicable to everybody in this day and age when almost everybody is a YouTuber. And who better to talk to than, of course, Singapore's most subscribed YouTuber. So if you've got any questions for JianHao, drop us a comment below.
We're going to go for a short break, but when we come back, I get to stretch it out with Wany. Don't go anywhere.
Step right up, draw the next card. You water the plant, we're animals, so get along with everybody else. Is the ship sinking? I've been thinking. Are we sinking? I've been thinking. Been a little time to get along. Wake up call, throw the next up. Be one of a kind, original. Don't be another sign of the times. Fight. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Try to find the feeling we belong. It's all for one and all for fun.
Good morning and welcome back to the morning show with Kelly and Barbara. I've swapped Kelly out. Wany is back in studio with us this morning. Wany is the Pilates extraordinaire that we have on almost every week now. So you're becoming the regular. She's given me a towel. I'm not sure what we're going to do with this
We're going to
one.
actually just
Take a
wipe
nap?
out sweat. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So we've seen the use of towels in our stretch segments before, and it's largely been to roll it up and have it in replace of a foam roller, just so that you can kind of lean back and open up that chest to combat all the slouching that we've been doing. So what are we using the towel for today?
Today we're going to actually do it for our lower limbs, basically. We're going to start from the foot. We're going to release a bit through the ankle, and then release through the calf, a bit through the hamstrings, and then to the hip flexors. Can we cover all that?
We're going to cover all of the lower body pretty much. And that's good because I tried going for a run last Thursday. And I did stretch, I swear, before and after. But then obviously because I haven't run in years, I really did feel it. So being able to use a towel, I think this is super cool.
Yeah,
right,
everyone should have a towel, right? But this is obviously a face towel. So we're going to use this. Just to do a test over here. Just reach down to your toes and see.
It's Monday morning, man.
It's a rainy Monday too. Okay, pretty
cold Monday.
You just gotta feel how how tight let's say
I am
it
tight.
is.
Yeah, it's
You just feel how that is. Okay. So what we're gonna do? We're gonna lie down.
Oh, okay.
All right.
I can do that.
I'm gonna chill, lie down. What happens over here is that we're gonna have one foot up. Is that better?
Okay. Okay, we're going all the way down.
So you can watch me at the same time.
Okay,
so place your foot basically, the towel across your foot. What we're gonna do is just pull one foot. Can you see what's happening?
Yeah, I can.
Yeah.
You're pulling it side to side.
Yeah, so you can pull and just allow your ankle to rotate, your foot to reach up to the side.
Okay.
But you kind of take your time to do that.
You take your time on it.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and we want to make sure the hips don't lift off the ground, right?
Yeah, you want to keep your bum dum.
Bum down. Okay, so when I'm rotating, so it's a very small movement.
Yes.
Ah.
Yeah.
And what kind of, what benefits come from this?
Here we get to actually release the ankle. So your ankle is, I think last week I mentioned about, or is it the week before? Mentioned about how the joints, the alternate joints should be very mobile.
Yeah.
So the ankles is the one that you should be able to rotate fully.
Yeah.
And if we actually kind of like stand for too long and we don't stretch the ankles, then it's very stiff, and then that will travel upwards, basically.
Yeah, I've had feedback that I have very, very stiff ankles and bad ankle mobility. So this is a good one. This is a nice chill one that you can do in bed.
Yeah, in bed, while you watch TV
While
or
you watch
Netflix.
TV, while you're Netflixing and eating ice cream, because that's what we do nowadays.
How can you do that?
Okay.
I think it's hard. Yeah, let's get 2 hands.
Oh, two hands up in there.
Yeah, all right, so once you're done with this,
Okay.
you feel the freedom of your ankle
Yep.
and your feet. You can also feel the stretch to your calf, a
Oh,
little
yeah.
bit through your hamstrings, yeah.
A lot
Okay?
through the hamstrings, just
Cool.
saying.
Then what we're gonna do, just gonna lie down, but you can do this seated also. Maybe we should try both things. So you can wrap the towel
Okay.
around or in a ball, either way,
Double
and
up.
then you place it under your knee.
Okay.
And
I'll
you
try
just,
the seated version.
Yeah. I just want to chill. I'm fasting, so I just want
lie
to chill.
down.
Yeah. So what happens over here? You're gonna place your what do you call that? Your hands on your shin,
Okay.
and then pull it towards your hamstrings.
Oh, that's interesting. This is an interesting one because
Yeah.
there's pressure being put on the back of your thigh and on the calf as well. And I have quite large thighs and calves. So you can really feel the pressure. Is this some form of release?
Yes.
or-
So last week we actually used a ball. Basically, you can use a lacrosse ball. I used a baseball last week. So this is another option for you to, instead of using a ball, if you don't have a ball, use a towel,
Okay.
and then you can actually get the release through your calves also. So it's like a myofascial release. So then you can travel it down the calves and then get
I
the
was going to say, how is your ankle nearly touching your butt?
I don't know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's actually more for the calves. I really want to just lie down today. So
Yeah, that's what she came in for. She just wanted to lie down.
all right, so there. And then the next one, this one you have to lie down for sure.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to actually do the same thing. We're going to roll it either like a ball or a, just fold twice. Place it on your hip
Yep.
and then pull it again.
Okay. So again, it's
same.
It's almost like a lighter version of lying down on it.
Yes, correct.
Ah.
So if you want to release the hip flexors, you can put the ball and then place a kettlebell on it too.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's a lot more pressure instead of
really
lying down.
Locks it in there.
Yeah.
And try it on the other side. Maybe we've got a better angle. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling
Yeah.
that one, definitely for sure. And again, this is something that you could do the opposite way around. You could
Correct.
lie on top of it as well.
Yeah. So here, if you actually don't have the range to pull your knee in without lifting your butt off,
Yeah.
this gives a better range for you to stretch out your hamstrings fully with the bum down.
Yeah.
All right, and also get the hip flexor stretch at the same time. So it's going to be both.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Have we got any more?
No,
that it?
is
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to do a double test again and check how that feels on your
One
that
side.
feels- Yeah,
One-
it feels really
one-
good.
One side. Oh yeah, my right side. Oh look.
Yeah, there
No,
you
I'm
go.
kidding. I'm kidding. Awesome. So just to do a quick little recap, for these kind of exercises, let's say for example, if you're like me and you decided to jump on that running bandwagon after 3 years, And there are a lot of aches and pains. These are good ones to combat that?
Yes, for sure. Do it after the run itself. So
Okay.
I think a lot of people tend to actually miss out the cool down stretches.
Yeah.
Like we go like, oh my God, I'm so
Oh, yeah,
tired.
I'm so done. Okay,
I'm done.
I'm just gonna lie here.
Yeah. So after classes, your workout, your HIIT or your runs,
Yeah.
always make sure that you actually do your stretches. So this will actually bring back that mobility and you can recover faster also.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for
Thank you for
joining us
having me
today. Again, if you have any questions or if there's anything you would like Wany to cover next Monday, don't forget to drop us a comment. We've also got the $50 giveaway from Grain, and Shawn will be joining us a little bit later on. We've got JianHao coming up next, Shawn a little bit later on. So make sure if you've got any questions for these guys that you'd like us to address, drop us a comment. We'll see you after the break.
Step right up, draw the next card. You one of the pack, we're animals, so get along with everybody else. Is this ship sinking? I've been thinking. Always sinking. I've been thinking. Been a little time to get along. Wake up call, throw the next up. Be one of a kind, original. Don't be another sign of the times. Fight. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Try to find the feeling we belong. It's all for one and all for fun.
Hello, welcome back to the morning show with Kelly and Barbara. You feeling a lot more limber now?
On my right side, yeah.
On your right side, but
I'm going to balance it out later on the left.
I was going to say, otherwise you're going to be walking around a bit lopsided.
Sing it.
If you've been doing those stretches with Wany, do let us know in our comments as well. And like Barbara said earlier on, if you've got any questions for Wany, she's a great one to ask. So feel free to shoot them away online.
Want to give a quick shout out to Lily, who says a meaningful food experience is where the food is nutritious for her body and also suitable for my sports and lifestyle. Not forgetting we've got that $50 voucher from Grain to be given away today.
All you got to do is just make sure you tell us what a meaningful food experience is to you.
Yeah, very individualistic, you know, just whatever you think works for you and your body.
Exactly.
Living that healthy life. Even though McDonald's is back open and I really, really want to buy a Big Mac, but it's okay. I will wait until the crowds die down a little bit.
Yeah, McDonald's has a tendency to go a little bit viral, doesn't it? And speaking of viral, joining us in the show today is JianHao. Hello, JianHao, Singapore's most subscribed YouTuber.
What's up?
What is it now, like
Hi.
4.2 million people that follow you?
Yeah, it's around 4 million.
Yeah,
YouTube.
around there. Just humble brag right there. You are absolutely incredible. 26 years old. You've got an entire
Empire.
below you. You are a daddy. You're a loving husband and a daddy to little Starly, who is super cute. And it's almost like you're creating an empire for her as well. Hey.
Yeah, sort of. I mean, it would be nice. I mean, I'm not forcing her into anything, but hopefully there will be something here for her in the future.
And that's great, right? Like as a
Or
parent,
maybe
you want to be able
other
to...
children.
Yeah, well, okay, so the main reason why we got you, or the main reason why we called you on the show is because the internet being the internet and everybody staying at home, people have lots of comments about lots of things.
Apparently a lot more time to make all these comments as well.
Exactly. So we've got like a few keyboard warriors. And there was a comment that came up on Twitter about stale content. And how there is stuff out there which is constantly being put out that's not really been refreshed. I think we've got a little look at the tweet, the exact tweet. We'll just pull that up. And so it was pointed and highlighted to you that it was it was directed towards you. And can you...
Well, I mean, that's what the haters are saying, or the people who are not too happy about how I responded. Everyone is saying that, well, she didn't even add me. She didn't even point to anyone or use any names. But I mean, I don't think they can name another Singaporean YouTuber who does school content consistently every week, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
So
I mean, people will say what they will say, and that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, I think the online space is one that we've especially realized in the past few weeks of circuit breakers. It's something that everybody is now online and everyone's entitled to an opinion. And you're right, it's not, even though she didn't tag you explicitly, there aren't very many other people that you could talk about. But your response was one that was very interesting. And I think it's important to highlight the fact that you do have other types of content out there. And I think the point that I was drawing for a lot of people as well is that if your 3-year-old is watching Octonauts, you can't expect your 3-year-old when they turn 13 to still watch Octonauts and then blame Octonauts for not refreshing the content and keeping it relevant. Like you with those school videos serve a very specific
targeted
demographic.
Audience.
And deal with that demographic, whereas all the other content that you've got deals with different demographics, right?
Yeah, it's true, and it's something we struggle with because under our network we try to target, we will try to cater to literally everyone. So we do try to find a sweet spot. So there will be some audiences who started watching us years ago who probably has grown out of our current content right now, and that's okay. We have other stuff for them like the podcast. We have other channels. We even have a property channel. So we do have a lot of things, but a lot of people are pretty quick to judge and they don't really see everything that's going on. And it's really not that the other stuff are not as successful. It's just that our school series is so big that it's just everywhere. And sometimes when something is everywhere, people will also not be too happy about that.
Well, that's the curse of success, right? I mean, you've taken it to a point where you guys have wanted to create a movie. You guys are helping sort of people who are in less advantaged positions as well. You're helping people with education, building schools and stuff like that. And I think that's really admirable.
We've built a. Oh, sorry to cut you there. Yeah. But we have built a few schools in Myanmar already, and it's something that I'm trying to do. And also, we're trying to make our mark on reforming education. We haven't really released anything yet, but we're coming out with a few apps and a few programs. So hopefully when we roll that out, eventually we'll be able to make a big difference to the world.
And I think that's fantastic because that's what it's all about. When you are garnering this amount of attention and fame of sorts, to be able to use that platform to give back and raise awareness about different things and just playing your part in society.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's very important, but I also don't think that any content creator should be pressured into doing that as well. A lot of content creators are just here to entertain people, make their fans happy, and it's not always having to change the world. Sometimes if you can just brighten someone's day, or it always makes me really happy when people tell me that they have a bad day, they have a bad week, but they look forward to every Sunday to watch my videos, and that really warms my heart. But so what I'm trying to say is I don't think any creator should be pressured into having to make a change. But it is good that eventually when people with a voice realize that they can make an impact, and they do. So yeah.
And what advice do you have? So we've got now, obviously, with the virus up and about, a lot of people are geared towards viral content, and
they're creating a lot more content. I think there are a lot of people who have suddenly jumped on the whole TikTok bandwagon, people who have nothing much else to do at home and just creating content. My godson decided he wants to be a YouTuber, and he went out and started filming a hunt for geckos. What's your advice to people that are trying to start out and trying to create that sort of viral content in the hopes of becoming someone like you?
Wow. So I would I would say I think the most important advice, which I always tell people, is that whatever is funny to you may not be funny to everyone else. So if you're trying to if that's how you're approaching comedy, it's always important to make sure you know what people are watching. I realize that a lot of friends, they have inside jokes among each other, and when they make it into videos or when they make it into content, people don't really get it, and that's one of the biggest problem I see for younger creators. But once they can get past that hurdle and begin creating videos for the audience, then that's where it starts becoming good. Like, for example, a video with gecko will appeal to a very niche bunch of people. So whether that will go viral or not, it may not be as effective.
Yeah, I really need to get him a conversation with you, or just get him to watch this segment, because bless him, like, he's going out there and he's filming with his mask on, and he's literally walking around the compound in his condo whilst he's semi-jogging, so he's not accused of loitering around the place. But is he doing that because he loves gecko, or because he's just trying to go viral?
I don't actually know.
We're not sure yet. He's literally 8 years old and just trying to be a YouTuber. Bless him. Like, I think it's very important to notice that, like, the younger generation, and I recognize that this will also be applicable to my Sienna, your Starly, that in a few years' time, they're going to start wanting to create content much younger and much sooner than we ever thought about it. I mean, obviously, you started at quite a young age as well. I started much later because I've got many years on you, but our kids are the ones that are going to be the next generation of content creators. How can we guide them to creating meaningful content?
I think the important thing is to just make sure that they are on the right side of the whole internet first before anything. I am quite worried. So I haven't reached that level yet. I haven't reached that age. Starly is still 8 months. So I think I will be a little jaded about this whole internet world, being a YouTuber. But I think if you take slow steps and help them understand the industry, understand what appears, what is how they should act in front of cameras, and maybe draw the line between what is a personal life and what is online content creation life, then I think that will be okay. I think it's really drawing the line. I guess the problem for me is the line is so gray between work and personal life that I rarely find that balance, and that can be quite detrimental to my mental health, I think. So I think it's really important to just draw that line first.
Okay.
And when it comes to, sorry?
No, go ahead.
Well, when it comes to content creation, it's like I said, it's really important to do what you love, because if you're not doing what you love, then it's very hard to continue. Or even like when you face tough times like this, when you face criticism, it's very hard for yourself to even justify, why do you do this, right? Unless you really love it, then you know you are making an impact. You know that you are changing people's lives. You know that people are really enjoying watching your content, and that gives you a reason to get out of bed and continue every day.
Okay, just to round up the conversation then, JianHao, COVID has obviously impacted all of us in very varying ways, shapes and forms. For business, for you, because you do employ a lot of staff, you're constantly churning out content. How has that content creation had to change as a result of Circuit Breaker?
Okay, so we have 38 staff at Titan. So all of them had to move home. So we moved all the computers home, desktop, laptops, even the huge workstations. Everyone brought their stuff back. So all our editors are ready to edit. We have over 50 talents in the company. So we told our talents, hey, why not you guys just vlog your day and then send it over to our editors. And then we'll show everybody how each of us are dealing with this quarantine. So that's what the editors have been doing for the past month. We also filmed a bit of stuff before the circuit breaker, although we're not releasing everything because we want to try to remain being on the same frequency as everyone. So it would be sort of strange for everyone to be in the circuit breaker and watching videos of us outside also. So some of the stuff we really had to just put on a hold, put on a pause, and just make circuit breaker a topic for content.
Awesome.
Well, I think that's quite important just to note, just because you guys are setting an example for so many young individuals out there. So if we're not taking your lead and if you're not showing that you are a good citizen by doing your part to stay at home, then we're going to end up with people saying, hey, hang on a minute, why is he going out to shoot?
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us, JianHao. It was great chatting with you and getting some perspective on the viral world that we live in nowadays. We are going to pop off for a short break, but when we come back, we'll be joined by Shawn from Grain. If you've got any comments, don't forget to drop it, well, in the comment section, and also tell us what a meaningful food experience is to you, and you might just walk away with a $50 voucher from Grain. See you back.
Step right up, draw the next card. You water the pipe, we're animals, so get along with everybody else. Is this ship sinking? I've been thinking. Always sinking. I've been thinking. Been a little time to get along. Wake up call, throw the next up. Be one of a kind, original. Don't be another sign of the times. Fight. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Try to find the feeling we belong. It's all for one and all for fun.
Hello, welcome back. You're watching The Morning Show with Kelly and Barbara, except I've swapped Barbara out for a little while because I'm a big fan of bubble tea. And to help share the love on how we can get our bubble tea fix, but also why it was such an important move for a health food company to start moving into bubble tea is from Grain, Shawn. Shawn, you are Director of Digital Products.
Yes, I am.
What exactly does that mean?
Well, I think Grain is, in a big part, equally an F&B as well as a tech company. And we use tech a lot to drive feedback and what food we come up with, how efficient delivery drivers are, and all that. So really, my scope is to make sure everything from the customer experience to the internal operations is sufficiently powered by tech.
Wow, that sounds very, very complex. Before we get into the ins and the outs of bubble tea and grain, tell us a little bit about the impact of COVID-19 and circuit breaker on the business.
Yeah, so grain, we started off really B2C. You get deliveries straight to your home. There's this other big part that took over maybe around 2016, and that was the grain catering.
Yep.
That grew up to probably be about 70% of the business, and COVID-19 killed that, right? Unfortunately. So yeah, there's been a lot of restructuring. We were being very agile about trying to tackle this drop. So there's a lot of repurposing of maybe roles in the company from someone that's very focused on solving catering problems now to tackling the B2C side of things. So I mean, changes are everywhere. There's we've implemented pay deferments for most of the leaders. I think that's something that had to happen. Thankfully, though, the government has been a great help in this, and we had the chance to when the government stepped in, reinstate some of these pays for some of the people. So
I can imagine.
Yeah, but it was not easy, of course.
Yes,
yeah.
I think everyone in F&B is struggling. There's a whole movement to save F&B in Singapore, and you guys had to, like you said, pivot a little bit and find different ways to make sure that you were supplementing the business. Tell us a little bit about what you did.
Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe we reacted relatively fast, I suppose. This was also early days of COVID when we were starting to see drops in catering, and right after that, I think it was in a really reactive state. I think the company went in. In fact, I think maybe one of the comments we said was like, grain will sell tires throughout COVID if people need tires throughout COVID. That was one of the things. Basically, we broke out into teams. We did a quick thing. There was 15 different bets that we took. Some of these you'd see on the website right now or on a service. Meal plans. We've toyed around with kids for meals for kids. Excuse me. Local food and how do we really get what people want right now through this period to them. And of course, well, bubble tea came in the mix when...
I was going to say, one of the things all Singaporeans need, apparently, is bubble tea. We can't do without it. We are buying sets worth $120. We are queuing. I mean, before bubble tea got shut down, you would see huge masses of delivery drivers standing outside the bubble tea shops waiting to collect orders. And I'm like, surely that ain't safe distancing.
No, it is insane. I would never have thought, none of us in Grain would have thought like this is the crazy levels that bubble tea would get up to. Stocks get sold out in minutes, right? You restock hundreds of bubble teas in. We'd post something on Instagram and people would be snatching them up in minutes and it's gone.
But it must be great for business.
Well, great for business, maybe not so good for work-life balance, but we're dealing with it. I think you'd rather the lesser of two evils, right?
So let's talk a little bit about the partnership, because to me, and I've known and eaten Grain for a very long time now, Grain has always been the epitome of health food for me. They've always had very wholesome meals, very balanced diets. So when I heard about the partnership between Grain and Koi, I was just a bit like, hang on a minute, like what's going on here? But this was obviously born out of a desire to survive.
Yep, well, it actually goes back a little bit before that. Sure, Grain started off being very health focused. In fact, for the long-time followers of Grain, it used to be called Fit Fuel. We grew a bit since then. There was a bit of alignment, maybe through early 2018 when we sat together, or a bunch of us sat together, and we're like, what really resonated with us? What is this brand that can last years and people would love? And it wasn't just boiled chicken breast and broccoli and steamed broccoli and anything like that.
Yes, because that's a very niche market, let's face it. Like, you've got your bodybuilders and that's about it.
Yeah, and so we jumped into what really connected, and it was really not just the food, it was the experience of eating food, which is why, well, we tag ourselves a food experience company. And it was really asking the questions of what would someone in a buffet line, when you're going for catering, what is this surreal experience of having the best buffet you've ever had? And what is this perfect food designed for delivery that comes to your house? And it's a great meal that is comparable to an experience you'd have in a restaurant. And so that expanded. I think it was way beyond just health. You have your cheat days which is why we've got the chicken burgers on the menu right now. Koi obviously came at a very at a very apt time. It was a point where we immediately, actually right on the day when the announcement was made, we made a couple of calls around and jumped on where a few other bubble tea players and talked to a couple of guys, and eventually, yeah, Koi came out of it. So yes, it was quite a necessity or opportune time for us to jump in, but it is also a bit of that angle that we wanted to not just be health, right? Yeah.
And I think that's great, because in order to reach out to the masses, you need to make sure that you have a varied base. And I think you guys have done very well to try and pivot and include all of that.
Also.
Is this a long-term partnership, though? Is this something that we're going to see an end to when Circuit Breaker is done and maybe when all the bubble tea shops are back open?
Yeah.
Or will we still be able to get delivery of bubble tea with a really wholesome meal?
Yep. We are still in conversation with that, no promises. In fact, in this state, no, we don't know what's going to happen next week.
That's true.
But yeah, we are in conversations like that. I think what is long-term is the whole idea of partnering with cult brands, with brands or items that are maybe less accessible to people and may not have outlets across Singapore and getting that to the people. But yeah, for sure, who knows, right?
And in terms of delivery scope for you guys, I mean, if people are looking to order, how does it work? Is it island-wide, and how does that all go for you guys? So
a couple of options. You have your deliveries as well as your pickups. So pickups can be made at our kitchen as well as certain MRT points, more popular areas around the country. But yeah, delivery is island-wide. There is a smaller hot zone, we call it, that is $4 for door-to-door delivery. Yeah. Unfortunately, we know it's a bit expensive. It is a $12 surcharge on island-wide far-off deliveries, and we use that to just offset a bit of the salaries of the delivery heroes we have. Yeah.
Well, I think it's awesome that you guys are making sure that goes back to the delivery guys that you use as well. A lot of people have had to pivot in their own ways, going from their regular jobs, or maybe they've been laid off, especially during these times, to have to work as delivery drivers as well. So fleet-wise, it's your personal fleet?
That's right. We do get the surge every now and then from certain times with coin and all. So we do supplement that with external drivers. But yeah, 80%, 90% is really our own people.
Now, we've talked about our voucher giveaway today. We've got $50 grain voucher to be given away to someone who comments on our feed about their meaningful food experiences. So, Shawn, I wanted to ask you, what is your idea of a meaningful food experience?
Wow. Well, I've thought of this a bit, actually. Meaningful food experience for me is really just spending a really quality time with your loved one where you're not distracted by your phone or by work. And you're sitting down, whether it may be your loved one, your wife, your family, and you're just having really good conversation that sticks in your memory. 2 months or years down the road, you're like, oh, I remember that conversation when I was just having that meal with someone, and it's something I remember forever, right? It's those sort of meals and those sort of moments.
That sounds like you've got a very, very solid memory of a loved one in that.
Plenty.
Speaking of your loved one, you're engaged.
I am, yeah.
Your wedding had to be cancelled due to COVID, though.
Yes.
So absolutely sucks. My heart bleeds for you, but hopefully, and fingers crossed, you will be able to get married soon. At least your fiancée lives with you. Yes,
she does. So.
Thank goodness for that. Well, thank you very much for chatting, and thank you so much for sharing the story about grain. Like, I think we've really picked up a lot on sort of just how businesses have had to pivot and how they've had to be agile, like you said, in order to survive during these unprecedented times. So if you'd like to walk away with that $50 grain voucher, you know where it's at, guys. Like and share the stream. Make sure you're dropping a comment and tell us, what is your meaningful food experience to you? Could it be, like me, making sure that you're eating from sustainable food sources? Or could it be, like Shawn, that you have an incredible memory where you're completely present with the person that you are eating your meal with? Like, share, and tell us on Facebook. We're going to go for a short break, but when we return, we've got more yoga coming your way as we break it down with Dawn. Don't go anywhere. This is The Morning Show with Kelly and Barbara. Hello, welcome back to the morning show with Kelly and Barbara. Hopefully you have been enjoying the past 45 minutes or so in our company. We've had some incredible guests joining us on the show today.
That's right, we had JianHao, we also had Shawn from Grain, and speaking of, with that $50 grain voucher up for grabs, I just want to pick out Keith's comment. So a meaningful food experience to him is choosing the right food to suit your body systems, as not everyone is suitable for every type of food. Some may have reactions or slight side effects, like gluten intolerance, stuff like that. So it'd be great to know, which ones suit you and boost your immunity.
Actually, a great way to find out what you react well or badly to is actually by taking a DNA test. Both of us have actually done that. And there are lots of providers.
I need to eat more vegetables, apparently.
There are lots of providers out there that do DNA testing. So this is maybe something that you can explore as a gift, maybe, for someone you love, especially if they're slightly older. It really does help to give you a bit of a boost. I mean, I've used the one from Circle DNA, but I know that
What was yours like?
I'm supposed to be eating carbohydrates and proteins.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, I'm not so good with fat, surprisingly, and sugar. Yes, fat and sugar doesn't work so well.
Which is why you've gone on sugar fast.
Exactly. So in order to know yourself a little bit better, you can do a few tests. It doesn't have to be expensive ones or anything like that, but at least if you get to know your body a little bit better, then you can learn how to manipulate it and biohack that body.
And speaking of manipulating your body in different ways, every Monday is Mindful Mondays.
Yes.
So we get Dawn in and she breaks down a certain yoga-based movement for us. So today she's going to be breaking down how to do thread the needle. And no, we're not talking about knitting.
Hello and welcome back to Break It Down, the time when we get to break down your favorite exercises and movements. So you know the ins and outs, the do's and don'ts, and of course the best hacks to make your movements a little easier or maybe a bit harder. My name is Dawn and today I'll be taking you through thread the needle. We're not going to do sewing, but we're going to do some spinal twists with a little bit of an anti-aging effect. Read. Anti-aging effect. If you do try this at home, don't forget to tag us on Get Active TV, or if you've got any questions at all, please feel free to shoot us a comment and I'll be more than happy to help. Again, all you're gonna need is a yoga mat or a Pilates mat, right? So when you have that all rolled out, we're gonna come onto our knees. First, let's start off on all fours. Like I mentioned earlier, it is a spine twist, so very good for not just helping to lubricate the joints in your spine, but also fantastic with its anti-aging effects, and I'll explain why. My hands are shoulder width distance apart. I'm going to have my left arm thread the needle, and that's where the movement gets its name, right? Thread the needle across towards the right side. I'm going to let my shoulder rest down on the ground and the side of my head as well. Now, for those of you who aren't able to do this, you can have a cushion, okay, a cushion or a pillow placed where you're going to have your shoulder and your head rest down, and that's going to help you a lot as well, right? So let's have our head and shoulder come down, and from here you see that I'm already at an incline, right? So this is where you're going to get your anti-aging effect, and you're going to get that spine twist also. So you're going to feel the lower back area, just getting a bit of a stretch here. And I'm going to extend my right arm up towards the ceiling, turn my palm back, bend the elbow. Option 1, have your hand rest on your hip. Option 2, I'm going to reach my arm to have my fingers grab a hold of my inner thigh, and that gives me leverage to pull, 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 and you see how this top shoulder opens up even more, right? So I'm getting a front shoulder stretch here at the same time. Stay here for about 10 breaths to a minute, and then to come back, everything in reverse. Let go, and then place your hand down, palm down to push yourself to come up, and you can actually see the blood just flow back down from my face to my lower extremities. You only got to do this one more time on the other side. And it's not going to feel exactly the same on this side. So just go to the point where you feel the stretch, never pain, right? Right arm threads the needle across. I rest down on my head, on my shoulder. My left arm goes up. Turn the palm back, bend the elbow, reach for the inner thigh. So again, stay here for about 10 breaths to about a minute, and just feel the blood flow to the upper extremities. Anti-aging must do, right? So you should feel the pressure build up to the face, the eyes, the throat, the head, the scalp. And then staying for about 10 breaths to 1 minute before you reverse everything to come back up. Pressing down. You can always rest in a child's pose after that, or arms back, child's pose. Now, let me explain to you the reason why I'd like you to try to do this on a daily basis as well. Like I mentioned earlier, when we do twisting movements, it does help us to lubricate our joints. Movement is therapy, remember that. And with movements like these, it helps to stimulate the joints to release synovial fluid. So that helps with keeping the joints supple. Non-movement dries it out, right? So remember to move it in a bigger range of motion. That takes time to build up. Now, when we do such a deep twist as well, you're also getting that massage to your internal organs, right? So when you hear people say when you do yoga, you feel like you need to go to the toilet, this is why, right? So it does help for people who do have constipation, or if you have digestive issues, sluggish digestive systems. It's very helpful, okay? Just make sure that you do all these kind of stuff on an empty-ish stomach, okay? Now, there are other variations that you can do this as well. Let me just quickly show you how you can do that. So you can thread the needle with your other arm that's resting on the ground, extending upwards. And this variation allows you to feel more of a stretch and elongation to the top side of the torso as well. Coming up is exactly the same thing. So do that a couple of times throughout the day. You don't have to limit yourself to just doing it once. But I do have a word of caution for those of you who are pregnant, first trimester at least. Avoid deep twisting, and that is a twist, right? So just don't be doing that if you're in your first trimester. That is all. So thank you so much for joining me on Break It Down. It is time now for a break, for a quick break. But when you come back, it's over to Kelly and Barbara once more. So don't go anywhere.
Step right up, draw the next card. You're one of the brighter animals, so get along with everybody else. Is the ship sinking? I've been thinking. Are we sinking? I've been thinking. Been a little time to get along. Wake up call, throw the next up. Be one of a kind, original. Don't be another sign of the times. Fight. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Wanna know the secret? We get on. Try to find the feeling we belong. It's all for one and all for fun.
Welcome back to the morning show with Kelly and Barbara. We're wrapping up the show, and like we said, we've had a great day with a whole host of guests. I hope you've managed to get your comments in. Remember, today is the opportunity for you to walk away with a $50 grain voucher. All you have to do is like and share our stream, and then make sure you are telling us on the Get Active TV page what is a mindful experience to you, a mindful dining experience to you.
Delicious. To be fair, talking to or seeing you talk to Shawn and about grain and bubble tea really has me craving bubble tea right now.
So now all you want is bubble tea and McDonald's.
Now all I want is bubble tea and McDonald's. Maybe they should do a collaboration as well. Just a thought, guys. Just a thought.
Just putting that out there. Tomorrow, we have a whole host of guests who are definitely going to tickle your taste buds. The first guest is Declan Halpin. He'll be coming in from UFit to help stretch us out again. We love having him on.
Physical.
With safe distance.
Paul Foster is also coming on. He's going to be talking about the modular movement.
That's right. And also a little bit about what else he's done. He gave a recipe to my husband yesterday in order to make him cook his mum's recipe, a rendang recipe, using lamb instead. That was quite interesting. Hopefully I'll have that video ready to be played out as well tomorrow.
At least you didn't have to go out and buy food, because I heard places were absolutely rammed yesterday. You know, you had to go to multiple places in order to just to tapao or just to find somewhere to get food from. So Kelly had food pre-ready on Mother's Day. I'd bought frozen dim sum from Tonglok.
Awesome. Awesome dim sum. If you ever want dim sum at home, just get it frozen and then steam it at home
I now know how to steam food.
Oh, well
I'm
done.
very proud of myself.
Good job. So Barbara mentioned the modular movement, which provides meals and care packs for our frontline healthcare workers as well as migrant workers. And speaking of that, day.com.sg, we had mentioned them last week, and the Day ambassador, Varman Chandra Mohan, will be coming in to share a little bit more with us about the initiative.
Kelly and I are also making cookies this afternoon. We're going to have a little cookie off tomorrow to see whose cookies are better. See if Paul can figure it out whose is whose.
All that to come on The Morning Show with Kelly and Barbara. We will see you tomorrow, 10 o'clock, right here on Get Active TV. All the programs coming up this afternoon. You've got In Your House, you've got You're Working Out this afternoon, and you've also got John and Duncan this evening. 9 p.m. So much to look forward to. Make sure you stick right here, and we'll see you again tomorrow at 10 a.m. Remember, whatever it is you're doing for the rest of today, stay safe, stay strong, and stay at home.